talking about
Hey,
stuff.
what's up, phone lovers? Welcome to the Mobile Roar podcast for the week of May 19th, 2016. I'm Joe Fidua.
I'm Chris Chavez.
And I'm Ashley King.
Okay, Google. I just made everyone's phone go off. That was the intended purpose. Oh, yep, I just heard one. It was mine. So yeah, Google I/O was this week, guys.
Okay, Google. Okay. I don't think you have to turn that on, right? Like in order for it to be listening everywhere.
Yeah. Always listening isn't on by default.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, that never happens to me.
This is a little off topic. Well, getting ahead in the notes, but so for the Google Home promo video, they were saying "Hey Google" in the video,
Yeah.
and I was wondering why, and then I thought, I bet it's so that commercial doesn't set off everyone's phones.
In the entire amphitheater.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
All right. So this week we're pretty much just going to talk about stuff from Google I/O, as you guys might expect. It was yesterday. We'll start things off with Google Home, like I just said. So we were talking about this last week. It was a rumor that they were going to come out with an Amazon Echo competitor, and we were all like, please, Google, do this. And they did it.
Yay!
About time.
But you can't buy it.
Yeah. So.
What if this ends up like, what was it, that Google Q thing? It's like, is historical
Nexus Q.
figure?
It better not be like that.
Man, I'm mad because I have a Q and it's so heavy and like the hardware is so cool on it, but it doesn't really do anything.
So what do you feel? How do you feel about how the Home looks?
It looks cool. Looks like a
You
little.
know what it looks like to me? It looks like a humidifier. Like one
Yeah,
of those
like a-
humidifiers.
Yeah,
that
like
you set up
if it was a
the
little
desk.
bit bigger, it could totally be a humidifier.
Yeah, it just looks like something. I don't know. It's nothing to write home about. It's just something that sits in the corner of your living room or something.
You can customize
forget
it, the
to
colors a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many other ways you could design something and to make it. Yeah.
I guess the question is it more attractive than the Amazon Echo?
I
Yes.
like the Amazon Echo better than Google Home.
I like Google Home because I feel like the color scheme is a lot more muted, and then you can change the colored bases. Like the base, you can change or swap out with different colored ones.
Yeah. If Amazon Echo was like white,
Yeah.
I think it would look a little bit nicer for like kitchens and homes and stuff.
Exactly.
Like this
yes, I would.
weird
It would
black cylinder.
all the white like stuff I have everywhere, and like it was just a giant black tower. It looks weird, just chilling over there in the kitchen. Yeah. I don't know.
So we should talk about what it actually does, but I think most people can probably guess. It's Google in a speaker, always listening in your home, so you can say.
That sounds creepy when you say it like that.
It is creepy
does
in a
sound
way.
creepy.
It is creepy.
It's Google in your home, watching
Yeah.
your children.
So you
Listening to
say
you sleep.
the O word, Google.
Listening to your children.
I'll try not to say it too much. You say, "Hey Google," and then you can ask questions, and then it can also like work as a Google Cast device, so you can send Google Play Music and podcasts and stuff like that to the speaker, and it can also control home automation stuff like the Nest. So it pretty much does.
Nobody has in their home. Yeah, all that home automation stuff. It's the future.
Yeah.
That never happened, but it's cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah, is it really like? Are they gonna make it? Hey Google? I can't remember in the video, but did they ever say okay Google?
No,
Yeah, I think they said
didn't.
it like twice.
So, because I saw somebody saying like, what happens when you say okay Google and it sets off every single device in your home? So maybe they're just switching it to Hey Google and only answers when you say Hey Google.
They did say it a couple times in the video, but mostly they were saying "Hey Google."
Okay.
So I don't know. But yeah, and they said it's coming. Was it this summer or later this year?
This summer, yeah.
Okay, and we don't know price or anything like that. Let's try to guess the price.
I think
it's. Okay, go ahead.
$199.
That's what I was going to say. Isn't that what the Echo debuted for? $199?
I was gonna say $250. So.
Whoa! No way. There's no way. Yeah. There's no way.
I don't know, man. Google every once in a while they overprice something.
Yeah, that's true. When they make it and it's just their thing, yeah, I mean that's a possibility. But yeah, I think 200. There's no way it'll be more than the Echo. There's no way they would do that.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be in the range of safely in the range of 150 to 250. If they would come out and be like, "Hey, it's $99," I think they would sell a crap ton.
I think they would do really well at 100. I'm hoping it'll be 100, but I don't know. Yeah.
Doesn't Amazon have a smaller Echo model now that's cheaper?
They have the what do they call it? The Hint or the.
They have the Dot.
Dot.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dot. And this is kind of like in between those two sizes, so I'm wondering maybe if it's smaller, that maybe it's just a little bit more on the cheaper side.
Yeah, it is small. Like that was one of the things. The guy's holding it on stage, and it like pretty much just fit in his hand. It's not very tall. It's not very wide.
It's a Wi-Fi connected Bluetooth speaker, and you figure around that size, those are usually around the $150, $200 range. So I'm guessing they'll be around that much. Yeah.
Cool.
That's what I'm betting on.
Yeah. And so after that, and to kind of go along with that, Google announced this thing called Google Assistant, which at first seemed like it was just Google Now, but it's actually it builds on Google Now and chat bots. You got chat bots.
We talked about these Facebook chat bots.
They're all the rage. Yeah, so Google doesn't just want to listen to your family's conversations in the living room. They want to be in your messaging, in your chats.
See, that's why they want to be always listening in your house, because they learn about the way you talk by listening all the time, and then they're just gonna start doing conversations for you.
We've talked about this before. There's been stuff that we've. I don't know. There's like things that you talk about, and then all of a sudden you start seeing an ad for it. I know people like I don't know if it's like a tinfoil hat thing or whatever. You're just being paranoid, but when it does have, I know my girlfriend. She was flipping out the other day because she was like, "We were just talking about this. I never posted anything, and somehow it's showing me ads for, blah blah blah." And
there is actually a word for that phenomenon, because that like predates even technology. Like, you'll be shopping for a specific car, and then all of a sudden you see that car all the time on the road. Like,
oh yeah.
Like it definitely is a thing that happens.
It's called the Bader-Meinhof complex, and I was really interested in it because, like, I bought my Camaro, and all of a sudden I started noticing Camaros everywhere, and I was like, there was not this many before I had this.
Cars seem to be the thing that it always does that to me too. Like, I was shopping for a truck last year, and all of a sudden, all I saw was trucks everywhere.
That's odd.
But yeah, so Google Assistant is like Google Now, but you can actually have like more of a conversation with it, and it's built into like Google Home and a couple of these messaging apps that we're going to be talking about soon. Some of the stuff you could do already, like in Google search, you could say, how old is Abraham Lincoln? And then it would give you the answer. And then you could say, when did he die? And it would give you his death, but you wouldn't have to like repeat Abraham Lincoln. It would know that you were talking about him. So it's stuff like that, but taken to the next level. And so it's like Facebook bots. You can ask questions in text to Google, and you'll be able to have a conversation like that, which leads into Allo, Chris.
Google's all new messaging, smart messaging application.
Another messaging platform.
How many messengers does that make?
And I feel like it's not even so much of like let's make messaging smarter because this is what everyone's wanted. I feel like this is just Google's way of just shouldering their way and shoving their way into messaging so that they can listen to that and increase Google searches and get people on board with that whole thing. Because I remember there was some survey or some study they did where Google is noticing there's not that many people searching on mobile as they would like. Nowhere near as much as desktops. It's a really, really low number. Like 1 to 2 Google searches on mobile a week versus like on desktop where it's like 5 or 4 a day. Really, really bad for Google. So in order to get people to search and use Google and use all their little ads and restaurants and do all that stuff, they need to get into the things you're using every single day, and that's messaging. You use that to communicate with everybody. So they're doing that with Allo. Allo.
Allo.
Allo. And yeah, it uses Google Assistant. You can be having a conversation with someone and like, hey, where do you want to eat tonight? And then Google will be like, hey, heard you were hungry. I found some nice restaurants in your area if you're interested. And you're just like, oh, okay, thanks, Google. I guess. And I mean, there's like the whole passive stuff that it can bring you, and then there's also you can directly chat with it as if it's a contact by typing at Google and then doing whatever. And it seems pretty full featured, like on what it can do. And like Joe said, it has like conversational stuff, so you could literally contact or chat with it directly by just opening up a separate conversation with it and asking it, just questions about football or your favorite player. And you can even, I thought it was pretty cool because it seemed like it showed, maybe it wasn't an embedded video, but you could say, show me like his best tricks, and this is what they showed on stage. And it just shows, boop, pulls up like a little YouTube video showing you their best tricks. So I'm not sure how well it's going to work.
Something you should mention is that it works with your phone number, not a Google account.
Yes, so it's completely different now. So that's actually really, really, really interesting because like on Hangouts and everything that uses Google services, like Google's already listening possibly to that stuff, whereas this just uses your phone number, so they're opening it up to just about like everybody, even people that don't even have a Google account. So then they're bringing them into the fold and figuring out.
And it will be on iOS too.
Yes, Android, iOS, no phone number, but it does have some pretty cool security feature stuff, like end-to-end encryption if you like open incognito mode, and apparently it's built on the same system that WhatsApp uses, so it's very secure.
There's a lot of confusion I've seen, and I am right there with people with the phone number thing. So, is this an app that is going to be like Google's Messenger SMS app, where I can use this just to text people, and then if the person on the other end also has Allo, I can do these like more powerful things, or like what's? I don't understand that part of it.
Here's a weird thing too that someone noticed, because someone had the APK, they like leaked the app, and they noticed that when people installed it and they would try to open it, it would open Messenger, just a regular stock, Google's SMS app, which is really odd because like why wouldn't it like just either not open at all, or why wouldn't it go to Hangouts, or what? Like it went to Messenger, which was really, really weird. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to replace those. Because now you have Messenger, you have Allo, and then you have Hangouts, which isn't going anywhere. People were kind of like, is this the new Hangouts? And then Google had to come out and say, oh, no, we're still doing Hangouts.
And I thought that was funny. Like, they say that like a good thing. But I'm like, no, you can't have all these separate things. Yeah. Get rid of
Don't worry, guys.
Don't worry. We're going to continue to have 20 different messaging services. Oh, okay. Thank God.
Don't worry. So I feel like, because WhatsApp is huge, and I feel like this is kind of their answer to WhatsApp, and maybe like Facebook Messenger, and Hangouts is probably just going to remain because Hangouts comes, just stock on every Android device that has Google in it, whereas Allo, I guess apparently it's going to be downloadable. I don't know if this is going to make it into Google's like normal, their suite that they preload on Android devices. It sounds like it's just kind of like their little side thing for now. So
it is just so.
I don't understand why they want to launch a new app for this. Like, why not just say we're updating Hangouts? Here's all the new features it has.
Yeah, we integrated all this smart stuff into Hangouts, which was
that's what WhatsApp does. That's what Facebook Messenger does. Facebook Messenger is adding features all the time. They don't come out with a new app every time they.
Exactly. It would be weird because people were like, oh, I want SMS stuff in Messenger, and it's not like Facebook's like, oh, we made a special SMS app for you guys, and it's like, oh, we want chatbots. Oh, we made this other application for you guys to also. It's so weird how Google handles this, and it's almost like somebody compared Google I/O to kind of like this like battle royale thing where all these different teams in Google just kind of like our product is better than this other team's, and they're all kind of competing for users and whatnot. So I don't know. I kind of want to play around with Allo to see if it's any useful. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I've been messaging somebody and hit those situations that they were showing on stage. I've never been like, oh, where do you want to eat? Let me pull up some restaurant.
Yeah, well, one of the use cases was like with Allo, you're going to reduce the amount of time that you spend outside apps arranging for different things to do with people that you talk to. Like you're supposed to be able to do it with the Google Assistant, but once again, like you're adding another app people have to go to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to go to Allo to do it. And then not only that, like they're like with Google Assistant and stuff, they need developers to get on board with it. And like I think they showed Allo can also play games, and they're like, well, the best games are going to come from developers. So as far as how much it can do, it's still kind of limited until developers jump on board, which they will do.
And developers don't like a fractured system like Google has. Like if all of this was being funneled into one messaging app with a clear focus, I feel like developers would be ready. They'd embrace this stuff right away. Yes. But when Allo was announced, what are the jokes immediately coming out? Oh, I give it 18 months.
Yeah, exactly. Like every
people are already predicting when it's going to be shut down.
I saw someone on Reddit say, "Why didn't they just name it Wave?"
Yeah, that was like, what was it? Spaces, which they came out earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be really
still don't know what it is. They should have just really just made like overhauled Hangouts, and I was crossing my fingers that they would have done it. But
it's really funny. We haven't even talked about all the messaging apps they made at I/O. So there's also Duo.
Oh yeah, there's another one. Just for one-on-one video chatting with people.
The concept of Duo seems interesting, but once again, it feels like something they could have integrated into Hangouts. Like, why?
Or even Allo. Like, why isn't it in Allo?
Yeah, why not just have that option? Like Facebook.
There's a little freaking video icon in the corner, and you tap it, and you do a video call. Like, what is so hard about that?
Snapchat does video calling, all with it. They don't make separate apps for it. It's just, I would love to figure out why. Like, ask them and get like a clear answer on why they're separating all these things. It just seems so.
Yeah, I would love to like be in their meeting rooms and see what their grand vision is.
Yeah. It was so weird because even like as I was writing up the Allo stuff, I was like starting on Duo, and then it's like, oh wait, this is a separate app. Like, are you freaking kidding me? This is ridiculous. It makes no sense.
What I would hope, and who knows if that's will come true. What I would hope is that Allo is the future, and they will slowly kill off all their other ones and stick with Allo. I hope that's what happens. I hope they don't just try to keep juggling all these different ones.
Allo is just chatbots. Just put it in Hangouts. Come on.
Yeah, just put it in Hangouts, and then for the one-on-one video calling, and
they're not gonna kill Allo though. It's so new. Like I think they're far more likely to kill Hangouts.
That's true. That is true. I guess we'll have to see.
Hangouts just seems like it's always been a project or an app that Google, I don't know, it's just like the way that the iOS version gets updates first, and like the Android version is like notorious for having issues, and I don't know, there's something about that app that it just seems like Google doesn't really put a lot of effort towards it.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. But Duo, going back to Duo, it is, video chatting, one-on-one with people. When you receive a call, you're able to see ahead of time what that person's doing. So as someone's calling you, their camera comes on, and you could already see if they're in the Bahamas or if they're.
See, that's the coolest part to me, because when I get a video call, my brain goes, "What does this person want?" And now you can instantly see what they want from you. Why are they calling you?
Like that's usually when I get any kind of call. What the?
Yeah, like I have to talk to somebody now. Seriously?
Yeah, his presentation was so weird because at one point the guy's like, sometimes phone calls are scary. And then they proceed to show off a video calling app. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think you get it.
So chatting one-on-one. Yeah. So and it's supposed to be more. They said way more reliable. So no matter where you're at, what your bars and your data speeds, it's going to be more reliable and crystal clear calling, and it's a lot better than Hangouts, which is just awful to use with anything. Even just like voice calling on Hangouts is usually a terrible experience, but. It sounds great. I would have loved to see this stuff in Hangouts. That would have been awesome.
When's the last time you, both of you, did a video call with someone?
Aside from the one we're on right
now? Doesn't matter what app it was, but yeah, just the last time you did a video call.
Oh, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, not very often. Like my little cousin.
When you do it, do you use your phone or your computer?
I use my computer.
I've used my phone, and then I usually tell the person, like, every time, like, it gets so choppy that I'm like, hey, just call me. Can you hear me? And then just hang up right away.
Every time I do video calls, it's like a pre-scheduled thing, like, and it is on my computer. Like, say it's like with my sister who lives out west. It's like a pre-scheduled thing. We all get around the computer. I've never been like on the go and like, oh, I'm gonna video call this person. Like
that's what I was saying. Like when I get a video call on the go, like my roommate's niece had a doctor's appointment today, and she was trying to get a hold of him, and she called me on Facebook, and I'd never heard my phone make that noise before because I'd never gotten a call on Facebook.
What is
that?
It's weird. I mean, I was hoping that they would just because I remember there was a lot of talk about the whole RCS thing, rich communication services that carriers are rolling out and all that. So we're already seeing that with T-Mobile. We're already seeing that with T-Mobile, where on like the T-Mobile Galaxy S7 and all that stuff, you have like the call button and you have the video button, and it's just it works.
Oh yeah, AT&T has that too.
The stock phone app,
I noticed that on the Galaxy S7.
Yeah, it's pretty cool the way that works. I mean, I guess I could see that happening, but I mean, just to create a separate app outside of your messaging app to do video calling that everyone else is already doing, it's just
and that's the problem with having 20 different messaging apps. That's the problem with all of this stuff. Is what it all boils down to is getting people to use the apps, and there are so many messaging apps to choose from.
I was about to send my family, who I have a group chat with on Hangouts, I was about to send them the links to Allo and Duo, and I was like, I'm not even going to bother. Like, this is just too much trouble, too weird.
You'll wait and see if it's around in 6 months to see
if you want to convert. I'd rather just get everyone on, like, WhatsApp or something, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, so we actually got a live question here. Is this going to be like Google's iMessage? And I think that's kind of that's the question that I was wondering.
Yeah, that's still up in the air until we actually start using it, or it's released. But it seems like it could go that way since it is using your phone number.
It is going to be interesting how that works, because I think I saw on Reddit someone from Google had actually said the reason that they can't get something like iMessage working is because there's so many different Android devices. And that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that one.
But yeah, that was Google. Like someone from Google had said that. All right, let's move on from Allo and Duo. Good names, by the way. I do like the names.
Yeah.
So Daydream. Tell us about Daydream, Chris.
Daydream is going to be Google's new VR platform for mobile devices, Android specifically, and it's VR. They're creating some reference hardware for manufacturers to sign on to, or to create or help them build their own versions, and it's pretty cool. So it gives an entirely new UI to Android, and there's a launcher, there's a Play Store. There's all that stuff, and it seems pretty cool. It only works on the Nexus 6, because apparently it's Android N only, and then your phone needs to have specific sensors and.
Wait, the Nexus 6 or the 6P?
I mean the 6P. Sorry, okay. And specific processor and sensors inside the phone, and it has to be on Android N, which apparently the only phone out that does it now is the Nexus 6P. But they have 8 hardware manufacturers that have already signed on and said they'll be releasing, phones that are compatible with it, and possibly like headsets and the motion controller. There's a motion controller too, which is cool. And it's VR.
Yeah, there's something like 4K displays too. Wasn't there something about 4K displays?
I didn't see anything about that, but I did that there was there's a specific requirements. Like I think a 2K display is like the minimum that you're allowed to have or something, Quad HD or whatever. So it seems pretty cool.
The VR dashboard that they showed looks very similar to the one that's in the Oculus Rift, so it seems like they're taking some design inspirations from that.
Yeah, and people are saying that's kind of the theme of this year's Google I/O is Google's just like, oh, me too. We have our version too now of all these cool things that are out. So it does look very similar to like the Oculus Rift. It looks almost identical to the one like on the Galaxy or the Gear VR. It seems cool.
Yeah, and the reason that you have to have Android N is because they announced some like Android VR stuff for Android N.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like if you're using the Daydream, they're gonna have like it'll make sure that apps running in the background can't negatively impact the VR apps that you're using and like take a hit on screen latency and stuff like that.
Yes. Which also, I mean, to me, it doesn't solve the problem. This is basically like the next version or next evolution to Google Cardboard, which was just, I mean, super rudimentary. It was just a little piece of cardboard with little lenses on it. So this makes sense, but to me, I just hate the idea of having to plug my phone into anything and rely on my smartphone, which I also rely on for messaging, and when I go out, and if someone's trying to murder me, I need to call 911 and not have my phone die. You guys ever think about that?
I did just now.
I don't want
everyone just check their battery percentage.
My phone for all this stuff. It's like it makes me a little killing your battery. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
All right, so we did briefly talk about Android N there. The third preview went out right after the keynote. There's not a lot of huge like things you're gonna notice, but Google said that it's a beta release now. It can be considered a beta release. So if you want to use it for your daily driver, now is probably the time you've been waiting for. It should be a lot more stable. Yeah. I have it on my Nexus 5X. I haven't used it a ton, but it does seem pretty solid.
They're asking for people to help name Android N too.
Yeah. That was another thing. They have like a video they released on YouTube and stuff too, where they were talking about. And there's a site you can go to, Android.something.
Android.com/in.
Yeah, and you can help name it, and it's really just for your own personal amusement because in the fine print it says, "We will not be judging or looking at these in any way, shape, or form. This is just for entertainment purposes only." It's like what? Okay, geez, like why am I even?
What's your in name, Chris?
My girlfriend came up with Nutter Butter, which I like because it's like my favorite cookie. So.
Yeah, there's always like, isn't that a brand name too?
Yes,
it is.
Yeah, there's like two options. Is okay, what if they go with a brand name, and what if they go with a generic thing?
Brand name, you could come up with all kinds of cool stuff. It really opens things up. But
Nutella, Nutter Butter,
generic. You just have like New York
Neapolitan
cheesecake.
nougat.
I think Neapolitan would be cool because it'd be like different colors and.
Yeah, I'm kind of pulling for Neapolitan.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
But officially, as of this moment, it's just called Android N-word. So.
N-word. It is.
That's what someone on Twitter said. Like, actually, right now, officially, while we're looking for names, it's Android N-word.
And
we don't know what that word is yet.
Nobody knows. What was it? They're starting to refer to, or Google's starting to refer to, even like Marshmallow and stuff now, they just call it like Android M, which people are like, that's kind of interesting now. That's just, I don't know if they're like getting sick of the whole dessert thing, or it's just too hard to say the full names now. It's like,
well, I mean,
Android N.
they're having a hard time with N. O is next.
Oh.
What dessert is
Oh,
O?
dear God.
I remember we talked about this with Android M though. I think, or actually no, it started with Android L. It does make sense to, because like, okay, we have these dev previews that are referred to as Android L, and people are having all these issues and searching for things with Android L on like Google, and then when you come out with the official release, you're gonna have much different people trying to find like, it makes sense to separate them.
It does.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Android N, and then we've got Android Wear 2.0, which also has a dev preview now. So they're kind of reworking the UI to be more material-like, a darker UI. They have more customizable watches. You can add like information from other apps. What else was in Android Wear 2.0?
Keyboard?
Oh, right,
keyboard.
The biggest thing from that, I think.
Yeah, I hate it, but
everyone says it's pretty terrible. Mainly because not only is just like your smartwatch screen so tiny, but like some of the sensors on smartwatches, like the touch screen, they're not really all that responsive.
Well, even on stage, like he was trying to write 3 p.m. as a response, and it didn't even register the 3.
Yeah, see, it's really hard to tab stuff. But luckily.
There's a reason why Google at first, when Android was new, they were like, yeah, have big buttons and don't require fine motor skills. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, and then now they're kind of going back on it, mainly because I feel like, I don't know, maybe because they saw the Apple Watch.
To be honest, people want a keyboard.
They want to be able to do more with their, and I could see like the keyboard for just very small. That's what they said, like just for quick little messages, like yes or on my way or something, or hell no. I think that would be cool. But then the keyboards, all these keyboards on Android, they have the little swipe function, so that makes it a little bit easier. I think a lot easier.
They had handwriting recognition too.
Oh yeah, well there you go, that too.
You can just draw the letter out if you want.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool. I like the idea of that. Giving people more options and different ways to communicate, is never really a bad thing. I just really want more devices to come out with like speaker support and a microphone to take calls on your watch. Maybe NFC for Android Pay. That'd be great.
They said that they were going to expand the fitness aspects of Wear 2. Like now, it doesn't track anything beyond runs and things that use GPS, but they're looking to add like gym exercises and free weight exercises.
Yes, this is where the smartwatches and all these fitness tracking things and all that is going to get really cool, because being able to track how many bicep curls he did, it's awesome.
Last little bit of I/O thing we'll talk about here: family library, so you can finally share apps with your family from Google Play.
Yeah, it comes out on July 2nd. And I think it's going to be a developer opt-in type thing. Although it's going to be, they said after July 2nd for developers, it's going to be just, by default, it's going to be on. So I think developers can still opt out for certain apps and games and things if they really want to. Because I know a lot of people were like, what the hell, what does this mean for developers? It means you get to share it with everybody and blah, blah, blah. But it's up to 6 people. I'm not sure how you're going to be able to add them into your family. I'm sure it's going to be something.
Scan in your birth certificate
to make sure the DNA test.
Yeah, blood test. Yeah, because they're going to people like, hey, let's just get a family group going and share a bunch of expensive apps.
Yeah, there's five people in my family, and then I think Mo, like my girlfriend, will make 6, so that's pretty much all I can do.
Is that the same size as the Google Play Music family?
I think it is. I'm trying to remember how many people are in the Google Play Music one. I think it is like 6 or 7. So it was rumored for a long time, and now it's like finally official. Although they didn't announce it on stage or anything, it was just like revealed in support docs, and then Google sent out an email to developers, just kind of like, hey, you guys, just letting you know it's coming. Yada yada yada. Oh, and developers. So for previous purchases you've made before July 2nd, developers will need to go back and enable it for previous purchases. So don't expect everything that you've ever purchased on the Google Play Store to work right off the bat.
I was going to say, it doesn't seem like there's very many incentives for a developer to do that.
Yeah, I don't know what it. I think it's more of an incentive for Google maybe than the developers. I mean, I can't really wrap my head around it on why they're even doing it, but it's cool for my mom and dad who don't ever buy anything on the Google Play Store. Can get all my purchases. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of benefit for developers, but it does make sense. I mean, most things in life you can share.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing because we're like kind of in the beginning of the digital goods type era, and so there's like a lot of weird figuring out how to treat these things because in real life you can buy a video game and share it with people.
Share it with your family. Usually your family, like people you live with, and it's like, hey, or give it to a friend or something. So yeah. We kind of saw this whole thing with like Xbox One and PS4.
Exactly. And like ebooks have the same thing. I think Amazon's Kindle has like lending. You can like lend people your books.
They do, like but once again, it's something that has to be enabled on the publisher side.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're still figuring these things out, pretty much.
It'll be interesting to see who actually does sign up for this stuff and enables it on their apps. Like it'd be cool to have Nova Launcher Prime. I can like give that to my mom and my dad and.
So that's going to wrap up our Google I/O news pretty much. There's only one little thing non-Google I/O to talk about. Samsung Galaxy X. Sounds cool, right?
Yeah, what's that?
We talked about last week there was a rumor of Samsung having a foldable phone, and now we actually have a name for it.
Wow.
And it's supposed to come out in 2017 is the rumor. It's going to be alongside the Galaxy S8, which sounds really weird for some reason. S8. I don't know why.
Galaxy S.
Galaxy X sounds like they went to like Roman numerals and it's the Galaxy 10.
So, not much to say about that, but just interesting that we have a name to put to it now. So maybe it's a little bit more real.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's do some wins and fails of the week. My win is going to be that I got to play with an Oculus Rift.
Oh. Yay!
One of my friends finally got it. It's actually interesting. He pre-ordered it a long time ago, and then you think you guys probably heard about there was like a really big delay, like months, and so he was kind of upset. And then it turned out that there were 4 Oculus Rifts in the state of Michigan at Best Buy. And it just so happened to be a Best Buy that's like kind of near where we live. And so he went there and he was the 4th person in line and he got an Oculus Rift. So I got to play with that and it was extremely fun. I've gotten to play with the Vive, but this was the first time I got to play with the Rift. And it's so fun especially if you get all the peripherals. So like my friend has joysticks and like a throttle stick, and a steering wheel. So like we were playing racing games. There's this spaceship game where you have to use like a throttle in one hand and a joystick in the other, and it is so fun. Like it's so hard to explain. I thought I understood like VR just by using like cardboard and like okay, I kind of get it. Like okay, it's going to be better than this. I get that. All right, whatever. But then you actually use it and it's like okay, yeah, this is pretty legit.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, so a fail, not really a fail, but so I/O is still slightly creepy as we were talking about. There's the Google Home thing with the always listening, which I don't think is that creepy anymore. I've kind of gotten used to it. But then there was this other part, like towards the end of the presentation, where they're like talking about robots and stuff, and they're just like casually, "Oh, this is a robot that we gave the DeepMind learning software to."
Yeah.
It learned how to pick stuff up. We didn't tell it how to do that. And I'm just like, oh, that's
okay.
See that robot scooting that stapler out of the way? It learned that on its own.
Yeah. Oh, look, it picked up a knife. Oh, it's got a gun now.
I know. This whole time they're like so excited about it. I'm just like, oh, isn't that something?
Okay. Inventing death machines now.
All right.
Yep. So I don't know how I feel about that, but apparently they could do that now.
I think Isaac Asimov wrote about this.
At least they don't own those Boston Dynamics things anymore.
Yeah, they had to get rid of that. I feel like I feel like it was almost a PR move because they're like people are gonna get freaked out that we actually own robots and we're teaching them how to like.
Or there was an
live.
uprising.
Yeah, they probably were like, oh, we got to kill off this whole army of robots. They got too smart.
But yeah, I the funny thing about I/O is that the coolest stuff Google shows is like just borderline creepy. Like it was like the Allo stuff with the bot. It's like, oh, this is really cool, but little bit creepy too. It's like,
Yeah.
That's Google for you.
That's kind of like the state of like where we're at and everything.
That's true. Everyone.
People are always just so freaked out with technology, and now technology is so much more invasive than it ever has been. So yeah, people are just freaking out, I think.
All right, Chris, what do you got?
My win for the week is going to be Android Auto. It's going to receive an update. This is like one of those little weird news bits that always seems to come out of I/O, where it's just like it wasn't announced, and whatever. Someone talked to some developer that's working on it, and whatever. So Engadget got the exclusive, and apparently Android Auto is going to receive an update now, where it no longer needs to connect to a car in order to work, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is. Should have been there since day one.
As a standalone app, you can open it, it'll activate the whole Android Auto UI, and you can just put it on whatever dock you have in your car now and just use your phone the way the good Lord intended.
I'm excited because I just got this cool Spigen car mount that's magnetic. And so I'm going to be using that.
You have to let me know how that works, because I was looking at getting one of those for my car.
Yeah,
it's a strong magnet.
Those ones you have to like stick a magnet onto your phone, right? Like in the back of it.
No, if you use a case, you like slide this little square piece of metal underneath your case. It does have a sticker too, so you could stick it on the back of your phone. But yeah, if you don't use a case, it looks kind of stupid.
Those are cool. My problem is I go through phones way too often, and sometimes I'm cycling through like 4 at a time. But my fail for the week is going to be just Google I/O's new venue, which is outdoors. And it sounded good at first because it's like, oh, they're going to have this outdoor thing, and
it looks good on live stream, I will say too.
Looks great. It looks like Coachella, Goochella, this big festival. All these nerds, all sweaty. But then you talk to people that are actually there and attending it. I have some developer friends that are there. And just some of our guys too. I think Andrew was complaining because he was like, after the first day, he's like completely sunburnt, which is just stuff I don't think Google anticipated. It's sweaty, it's hot, it's outdoors, and now there's more people than ever. There's 7,000 people that attended this year, and the sessions are still small. So if you're a developer trying to get into these sessions, there's only like 200 people max, and I mean the lines are huge, and it's like Disneyland. But yeah, they probably should have just kept it indoors and kept the number of attendees kind of smaller. But people are mad. Oh, and they're not giving out any free devices. That was kind of the other big one. No free devices to developers this year.
It's probably the main reason people are mad.
I feel like that was kind of the last little, like, well, I could put up with all this because, we're going to get free goodies and stuff. And then it was like, Google just the last little knife in the side. No devices this year. Probably
they didn't have anything to even, like, they couldn't even give out software. I mean, even the Allo apps aren't available. Like, nothing was available.
The only thing I can think of is maybe, like, the reference stuff for the VR, the Daydream, maybe like a headset or two.
Hey guys, do you want another cardboard?
Chromebook. I mean, maybe they figure that, well, everyone that's attending has already been and they already have all this stuff to work on, and I don't know. It's kind of sucks though.
At least that opening presentation with the harps and the strings or whatever was really neat.
Yeah, the string lady.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but apparently she
was just pulling on strings and sound like a harp.
Giant strings. I wonder where she got her musical training. It's crazy. How do you learn that? Yeah, so that's my fail. My fail is just going to be Google and their weird new outdoor venue and tents and no devices.
All right, Ashley, what do you have?
I guess it's kind of a win, but I've had the Moto 360 Sport and my replacement Fitbit for a week now, and I wore them both. And I'd have to say that the Moto 360, I think, is a little bit more accurate than the Fitbit.
What?
Yeah, I was surprised too. I was watching my steps for about 2 or 3 days, and then I did 2 runs with it, and my step count on the Fitbit ended up being like a few thousand higher than the Moto 360. And the Moto 360 GPS information was a lot more accurate than the Fitbit stuff. Like, I was looking at my Fitbit app, and it showed me going down roads that I didn't even go down.
Yeah.
That's
strange.
Interesting.
All right, so app picks. Mine is going to be Poncho. Can't remember if I mentioned this when it came out for iOS, but it's for Android now. I've been patiently waiting for it. So it's like a weather app, and you may have heard the name of this app because they have a chat bot for Facebook Messenger.
I was going to say, didn't we discuss the chat bot?
But before that, it was actually just a standalone app. So it's a weather app, and it's kind of like a weather app with a personality. So when I open it right now, it says, these low 60 temps are perfect for getting more active, aka cutting your pizza into pieces before you eat it. And then it has like a GIF. There's like a GIF every day. But so it's just like a really cute weather app. But the thing that I thought was really cool about it that I wanted to try is there's an alarm feature built in, and every morning when your alarm, or it doesn't have to be morning, and whenever the alarm goes off, it'll play music determined by the weather. So like this morning, it was a nice sunny day, perfect day today, and so the song this morning was just like really upbeat and cheery and happy. But if it was like a rainy and dreary day, you would get like kind of mellowed out music. So I think that's really interesting. So I've been using it.
What if the rainy day music doesn't wake you up and you overslept because it was raining outside?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I've only had it for one morning so far, so maybe next week I'll report back and see how it went. But so far, I'm liking it.
If it's like a thunderstorm or something, will they play heavy metal?
Yeah, I don't think that.
Riding the storm out.
I'm not sure. One thing that'll be interesting is like how many songs do they actually have, because it's not like actual songs. Like
yeah.
You don't hear like licensed music. It's just like generic sounding. Yeah.
That's cool.
But it's an improvement over my usual just like beep, beep, beep. So, Chris, what do you got?
My epic is going to be the Google Keyboard, which has there was an updated version that came in Android N, the Dev Preview 3, on the Nexus 6P and other phones. It's been updated, and it's not available in the Play Store yet, but they introduced theming support, or just themes. So now they have like a nice full feature list of all these different colored themes, and then you can even use a photo from your gallery to put in the background if you want. And it's pretty awesome because it's already gotten really good with like the autocorrect and all that, and then now
Here's
this
some of the
and
themes.
It's like, yeah, Google. I mean, whoever is handling it.
There's a one-handed mode too now, doesn't it?
Yes, one-handed mode.
That came out a little bit a while ago.
Yeah, that was with the last version that we saw that leaked. I don't even know if that one even ever came out on the Google Play Store, but
It did.
yeah, so it's awesome now. They have the themes, and I'm sure it's going to hit the Google Play Store for everyone else eventually. And it's pretty cool because now it's kind of like, man, you could just use Google Keyboard now instead of SwiftKey and some of these other guys. Kind of sucks for them.
Actually, I've been using Google Keyboard for a couple weeks now. The only thing I miss is emoji prediction. It's the one thing I miss.
The only thing. It sucks. Which, I mean, and there's that new SwiftKey. It was almost going to be the new Swiftmoji keyboard thing was going to be my other app pick, which SwiftKey just released in a
What's
in a
the
beta.
deal with that app? I was wondering why that exists because their regular keyboard does like the same thing. I feel like.
Yeah, well, I think it's because how they worded it. I think it's how they incorrectly worded their SwiftKey on their emoji predictions, because it's not really emoji predictions on SwiftKey. It's more like emoji search. So you would type in something like cool, and then it pulls up the little cool emoji. So that's not really prediction per se. Um, whereas Swiftmoji is able to predict and pull up all the emojis that apply to whatever sentence you're typing out. So it looks through all the words in that sentence. So at the end, when you're done, you don't have to type in cool, you don't have to type in banana, you don't have to type in whatever to look for an emoji.
Gotcha.
It's already pulled up on this little emoji bar. And the emoji bar can be used even if the keyboard is not. It's weird. It has this little floating function, so you can detach it from the keyboard and place it somewhere else so that you can just boop, 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 just punch in these emojis whenever you need. But so it's actually true, I guess, prediction. It's better. It's like better emoji suggestions. And then the UI looks a little bit different from SwiftKey. I kind of like it. The font is different, and I think it's really, really cool. I was using that for a while, and it's awesome because it helps you surface and use emojis that you normally wouldn't use, and you don't have to spend all this time going through looking, for all these different emojis to try to be creative. It's already right there in the little bar. Boop. So Swiftmoji, I guess, is my other app pick then.
Cool. Ashley, what do you have?
My app is called Curiosity, and if you're a gamer, this is not Peter Molyneux's failed Curiosity What's in the Box app. It is Curiosity.com's app, and they give you, a new topic every day that you can learn about. And I was one of those geeks in school that was like, oh, we get to watch a PBS video? Cool. So Curiosity is kind of like that.
Nice. Is that the same Curiosity that I've seen like commercials on TV for?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to look this up.
All right, we have one email question this week, and it's from our friend David Hollingshead. Kind of a long question/comment here. So he said, just looked over the HTC 10 at Verizon today, much improved over any version they've had, though it didn't seem to run faster or look much better than my M8. The capacitive fingerprint button is a better idea than the S7s or G3s, and apparently the custom audio DAC is much better as well. With the HTC 10's almost perfect execution, I'm still baffled at the bizarre and counterintuitive ideas manufacturers and carriers are still putting into phones. And then he lists some examples. Tiny capacitive buttons at the bottom, uncentered vertically on a bezel. The HTC Boom Sound toggle that we've talked about. Verizon's location found notification. They're connected to wireless notification.
He really hates this persistent notifications.
The inability to make Samsung's lighted buttons stay on when the screen is on. The G5's apparently poor build quality with modular design. And the Snapdragon 820's terrible DAC, which is apparently worse than previous generations. So he was just kind of pointing out how he feels like every phone has a major flaw of some type, where there's oversight in some way. And I think we all agree with that.
100%. Yeah, it's not like every year. I feel like it's not like every year our phones are necessarily getting better. It just seems like they're picking and choosing certain things to get better at while leaving some of the other stuff, like they're just prioritizing things differently. So right now it's the camera, which is great, but like you said, like the DAC is like even worse in the 820 than it was in previous generations, and stuff like that kind of sucks.
I just think there's also like, I mean, as good as phones get, there will still never be a perfect phone.
Yes.
Because it's impossible to chase perfection. So, 10, 20 years from now, we're still going to have, like, there's going to be little problems in phones. And it's not just phones. Like, you can look at anything in life, like cars. Oh, I love this car, but this. Mm-hmm. Or, nothing is ever going to be perfect. And I feel like we really chase that in phones for some reason, where people are, like, constantly, oh, I really want to upgrade, but this or this, it's like...
Yeah.
it's just never going to happen, man.
I think it's because you just have it in your head. Oh, if my phone only had this, 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 and this, it would be perfect.
I think people are that way because phones are a little bit more personal than cars. Like, you have it on you every day. And I mean, I'm not saying you don't drive every day, but
I don't drive every day. But yeah, you use it all the time. That being said, I want to say that the Nexus XP, which I'm using as my daily driver, those freaking mushy buttons on the side, they're so. I
dropped mine one time and the power button wouldn't click in. I was like, what?
Yeah, my friend, his volume button somehow bent. I don't know how he was like, I don't know how it happened, man, but his volume button bent. And then on just mine, they're so soft. Like, you can just brush the volume or the power and it clicks it, and it's like the most unbelievably frustrating thing because it's something you don't even think about on a phone. And this is literally why my girlfriend stopped using it, because she was like, those freaking buttons, and I thought she was crazy. But yeah, it's maddening.
I'll just say the buttons on the HTC 10 are pretty awesome.
Oh, they're super hard and clicky. Same with the Galaxy S7. Super, you have to really give it some force to click them in, and I love that. I love that.
I'm kind of sad. Like, I dropped my HTC 10 a bunch of times, and so now there's some scratches on the corners.
What?
So I got one of those really slim Spigen cases.
That's funny. Yeah, I will. They're too slippery. So what I did is I actually buffed the sides of mine and made it nice and like shiny, which gives it a little more grip. And I
feel like that would make it slipperier. That's weird.
No, it's like kind of like on an oleophobic, like your screen. Like, once you lose the oleophobic coating, like your finger drags a lot on it. So it's like, it's glass and it's smooth, yes, but it's like there's more drag, so it makes it easier to hold.
Gotcha. All right, that's going to wrap up our show for this week. Thanks, everybody, for the emails. Or I guess thanks, David. We know that you hate notifications. We feel your pain, bud.
Yeah, poor guy.
I'm glad I don't have a Verizon phone, because that is definitely something that would annoy the crap out of me also. All right, so you can email us with our address, podcast@fandroid.com, and also our Twitter handle @MobileRoarcast. And you can subscribe to the audio version on Google Play Music, TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Chris is at GamerCore, Ashley is at Overlord Roar, and I am at Tall Schmo. We will see you guys next week. Okay, Google.